I was visiting with my kid last night who came back from his summer job. He's getting ready to go back to college, and we share a survivor pool entry. And we're struggling in week one, trying to find somebody.
Don't take the 49ers.
No, I was
for multiple reasons.
I heard a couple people say Niners, and I'm like, you know what?
Don't do that.
I think that's risky.
And I'm not saying that because I think they're going to lose, because I don't. But there are just some rules of survivor pools that you would be violating in a major way by selecting the four. First of all, try to avoid a road team at all costs in week one.
Right.
Secondly, your quarterback's making his third start. Third, I just gave you a weather report, rain, an equalizer. You're violating all of the survivor pool rules if you go with the 49ers this week.
Yeah. And also, you've got two young quarterbacks, so it's equally, you get randomness on both sides. So I'm leaning towards Titans at home in Nashville over the New York Giants.
They scare me though too.
But
I don't know what to expect from that team.
This is a tough week for survivor pools.
Yeah, I haven't even really looked at it, and I'm in one, so maybe I just shouldn't be in one, because looking at week one, I don't know. I mean, do you want to take Russell Wilson on the revenge game? But again, there's a road team and a primetime game, like home dogs on Monday night. That's a rule of the NFL. So no, I don't want to do that.
Eagles against the Lions, but then there's one ass cheek and three fingers on the other side.
Again, a road team, but how about Baltimore against the Jets? I feel like we could just follow the Jets this year. They're going to lose a lot of football games.
But Zach Wilson's going to go in that game.
Is he? I heard maybe. I know he's working out.
I expect him to go. My sources say he'll go.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, even that's another road team.
Totally.
Right? And the Ravens are one of the most volatile teams year to year. It's like, what are they going to be? I'm not really 100% sure.
You're right.
What's Lamar going to be this year?
I want no part of this.
What are the Ravens going to be? To me, if there's a few teams that have this huge disparity, they could be great. They could win it all. They could miss the playoffs. To me, like the Rams and the Ravens are the two teams that I'm like, wow, I could picture them in the Super Bowl. I could picture both missing the playoffs.
Absolutely. But I think the list is even longer than that. As we know, we did that exercise last week of who are the four teams that weren't in the playoffs last year that will be this year. That also means four of the teams in last year won't be this year,
right?
By definition. And it's been 32 years in a row. So I'm going to buy into that and say that's definitely a thing. And I don't think we can do that. Don't look at the 14 playoff teams from last year and tell me which four are definitely going to be out, because we've penciled pretty much all of them in again. We're going to be wrong.
I know. That's why I'm so kind of heavy on the Rams missing the playoffs, because and I was talking to Steve Weish yesterday. I did an interview with Steve Weish. And Steve Weich's pick for the Super Bowl is the Rams.
Well, why not? I mean, I don't know. Preseason, there are conversations we fall into automatically that are also based on nothing. Your preseason Super Bowl pick, I apologize to anyone out there doing media or just having a bar conversation with a buddy. There's nothing in life I care about less than who your preseason Super Bowl pick is, because it leaves out all of the context that we know is about to unfold. You're like, what if Matt Stafford's hurt 48 hours from now?
Right.
Then what?
Well, and think about when people asked you, like in past years, like maybe week 10, week 12, hey, Mark, who did you have winning the Super Bowl? You're like, oh, wait a second. Who did I
don't even know.
I think I went Indy. Right. I don't know. It's like, you totally forget. Once the game starts, you forget.
It doesn't matter. By the way, the Rams, your preseason Super Bowl pick, who are home at SoFi NFL headquarters, they're not even favorites in that game. They're underdogs in that game. So, I mean, that's the team that if everybody really wanted to look and go, like, there's a team that I'm having a hard time poking a hole in, it's Buffalo, right?
Buffalo looks chalky.
Right. It feels chalky, so yeah, it probably won't happen. But tell me what, outside of a Josh Allen injury, like, how can Buffalo not be a factor here in the end?
They lost their offensive coordinator.
What's that?
They lost their offensive coordinator, Brian Dable, who oversaw the Josh Allen development and rise.
That's a great one. I was going to say they didn't really go after that veteran corner that a lot of people felt like they had to get. That was on their list of things to do this offseason. They didn't really get it. So, Was that going to burn them? Last year they lost Tre'Davious White. What's his status? So, I mean, to me, that's one spot. But, yeah, you're right. Buffalo is a very complete football team.
If you are going to look at your survivor pool and just go, okay, let's go to Vegas and find out who's the biggest favorite. Who is the big? Hold on.
Or what's the biggest? Do you look for the biggest favorite, Mark, or do you look for the most line movements?
I don't.
I've heard people say the best way to go with the survivor is look for where the line opened and where it is on game day, and go with the team who had the biggest line movement in their favor.
Do you kind of have the schedule at least partially memorized, or do you have it in front of you?
No.
Can you get it in front of you?
Yeah.
This weekend's NFL schedule. Spadone, game show music, please.
I have this week.
Game show music, please. This week's schedule. Do not look at spreads. There are 3 games right now that are all tied for being the biggest spread of the weekend. All 3 are tied.
It's got to be a small number,
3
right?
teams are exactly a touchdown favorite in their games. This is up to the minute numbers. Which 3 teams do you believe are the 3 touchdown favorite teams this weekend? Larry Krueger.
I don't know. Colts
at Houston.
Colts at Texans. Okay. Touchdown favorite.
Touchdown favorite.
Wow. That is tough.
There's also a couple of 6.5s. There's a 6. So there's some candidates here that are wrong.
49ers.
That is correct. They've
Okay.
gone up from 6.5 to 7. So you are 2 for 2. There is one more.
Eagles against Lions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Gosh, so close. The Eagles will be coming in as just a 4-point favorite against the Detroit Lions. We call that the hard knocks effect because Dan Campbell is going to have some really weird stuff to say. It's going to fire everybody up, and they're going to do
buy
great.
a kneecap
They
off.
are. That's exactly what's going to happen.
We're going to take your other kneecap.
Well, and then they're going to give that kneecap to the Baltimore Ravens because they are a 7-point favorite at the New York Jets. Jets.
All right.
There it is.
I like the Ravens much more at home than on the road.
Yeah, so all 3, to the point we were just making, all 3 of those favorites have at a touchdown, all on the road. They're
And
all
that
on the
still
road.
doesn't help the survivor.
No.
None of them seem like there's not a lock it up kind of there's not a safe pick.
No. The biggest home favorite of the weekend belongs to the Cincinnati Bengals, who are a 6.5-point favorite at home against the Pittsburgh Trubiskys.
Which
Maybe that's your spot, but except for that's a traditional division slugfest.
stay away from division games, right?
Stay away from division. By the way, at a certain point, we got too many survivor rules. I think the actual rule you get to is don't give them your money. Just don't sign up for this survivor pool. But anyway, yeah, the Cincinnati thing, here's one thing that I keep ringing with Cincinnati. They are not as good as you think they are. Doesn't mean they're not good. I think Cincinnati's a strong team, but if you put them in the AFC, are they set apart from other teams? I don't really think so. I think we forget what Cincinnati was last year, a 10-7 football team, which means they're just barely a breath over 500. And then they get into the playoffs, and what did they do? Raiders have a 4th down right there to tie them on the final play of the game in week 1 of the playoffs. Week 2 of the playoffs, they go to overtime, get sacked 8 times, and get a turnover from Tannehill at the right time and win another playoff game. Then they go to Kansas City. They're down by 100 points at halftime and then have the most epic half ever. And then they go to the Super Bowl. They show up well. They're right there. Like, don't get me wrong. They're good. This is a good team that can compete with anybody. But this idea that Cincinnati's showing up as dominant in that division, false, in my opinion.
Totally. And Super Bowl losers hang that.
Totally.
What's the stat on that? I mean, the Super Bowl losing team always struggles the next year.
Seems like
right?
it. Seems like it.
So that would be them. But they did
they're still
improve.
young.
They improved their O-line. They've got great weapons. The arrow's up on Burrow. I don't know about defensively, but Bates got signed, the free safety. He's there in camp. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what since he's going to be.
I'm literally sitting here going, I think maybe I'm going to change I got to get in touch with my survivor pool guy and be like, I'm out. I can't even get through week 1. How are we going to go from here if we can't get through week one?
Well, it's funny. The text line here, 415, says Russ will not lose to Seattle in his Denver debut.
Are you sure?
It's in Seattle.
Are you sure? I mean, they're literally the team that was like, I think we're done with this guy.
I think I would probably, that will be on my short list.
I mean, you're going to go with a
road team.
I know, but home dog on Monday night is a thing.
Right.
It's literally a statistical thing. Through the years, don't bet against a home dog on Monday night. I know that's just the spread, but do you want that week one? You're freaking out as somebody lines up for a game-winning field goal with 2 seconds left to go.
I know.
That's
it's going to be.
Feels like.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to do that.
That's going to be an emotional one-score game, one turnover game. It's not out. That's going to be close.
I'm out. Is it raining in Seattle on Monday? I have no interest in going to Seattle for week one and picking a road team. That feels bananas.